I was lying in my bed this morning in a state of bliss, having just read an email that a friend of mine had sent me about the history of tennis. Actually, the clay courts were developed in France, in Cannes, France, where I spent my childhood, playing at the Carlton Tennis Club. I didn't really realize that clay courts developed in Cannes. And as I'm lying there thinking, reading this article and thinking of my privileged childhood, and what's occurred to me since, feeling of bliss came over me, over my body. And I'm lying there in this state, and all of a sudden, this phrase comes to my mind. I am asleep, but my heart is awake. And I didn't realize it at first. I looked it up on Google. The phrase came to me, and then it was from the Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim. The highest level of development is in the Shir HaShirim. In fact, as an aside, but as the most important aside, everything in Shir HaShirim comes out of the letter Shin, Shir, the first letter. And this letter is the sophisticated letter of the three prongs, and that relate to the three patriarchs of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And everything comes out of these three fathers. And this Atbash of Shin is the letter Bet. And this Bet is the highest letter of the Torah, the first letter of the Torah, and its deepest aspects. The deepest aspects of the letter Bet are revealed in the letter Shin. And that letter Shin is of the Shir HaShirim. And I'm lying there in the bed, virtually dead, in a state of bliss, in a quietness. And I said to myself, I'm asleep, but my heart is awake, and my heart is awake. And then I say to myself that sleep is considered 1/60th death, which is my symbol of the Aleph and the Samak, 1 in 60. And here I am lying there. I am asleep, I'm dead, but my heart is still pumping. My heart's awake. I look up the Hebrew, and it's Ani Shina Libi Air. And then I realized that Libby was the second woman I ever kissed when I was 14 or 15. I was 50. Ani Shana. I am asleep. And what's the Ani to me? The Ani to me is the Malkus. It's the animal soul. My animal soul is asleep. It's dead. And through that dead body, there's a pumping of a heart, a lev, a libby, my heart. Air, awake, ayin resh. I feel this. I feel this state of bliss in my dead body. And I'm lying there and I say, well, it looks like I have a mantra, even if it's for today. And whenever I say this Ani Shana, Shena, Ani Shena, I'm asleep. V'libier, Ani Shena, V'libier. And I can recreate that state, the feeling there, that state of a bodily bliss of a man lying there dead and feeling his heart, his godly soul. So his animal soul is asleep and his godly soul is awake. And I feel that in just these few words and recreating this here. Ani Shina V'libier. I had such a privileged upbringing. In the highest echelons. That my words ring in a space unapproachable. Unapproachable. To many. This many, even myself, when I can't believe it. And then I see, like a man today sent me this article, and it brings it back to me. And how it's all led to this. How Ani Shina V'libier. I'm asleep but awake. And this morning I couldn't get out to play. I normally play at 7 o'clock in the morning. Against the wall, my wailing wall. I couldn't play my tennis, which I still play every day. They send me an article about the origin of tennis. And there are very few people that played at the courts that I played on and that are still playing and still alive, because I was a child. And with that privileged upbringing, which my brother had also. It's too much. So one could be asleep. Ani Shena, I'm asleep in that death. But my heart is awake. And that's the state of a bodily bliss. It's the best way I could describe it. You know, the heart has two ventricles, the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov. Yetzer Hara has the blood in the left ventricle. And the Yetzer Tov has the is the white in the left ventricle that's empty. In the right ventricle. Did I say it wrong? The Yetzer Hara is the blood in the left ventricle. And the Yetzer Tov is the empty ventricle of the white in the right. And that's what this is. I am asleep. That's the Yetzer Hara. My Yetzer Hara is asleep, my body, but my heart, my Yetzer Tov, the heart, the right side of my heart is awake. And that's the state I'm in now. And that's a bodily bliss, the godly soul in the heart, in the right ventricle of the heart. This is, as I'm talking, I'm in this bodily bliss. That's why I haven't shut it off. If you can perceive the bliss I'm feeling right now, I hope so.